Hey there. Today I wanted to talk briefly about a conversation that I actually had with a client who was actually struggling quite extensively with the concept of loss in his life. So many of his family members have left the earth plane in terms of dying for whatever reason, that being like his very, very large immediate family. And he was feeling very, very alone and very depressed and really had the idea in his head that he would rather not want to be here any longer because he would much prefer to be on the other side, being up in heaven with all of his loved ones. And it kind of like red flagged me a little bit. And I wanted to share a little bit of the story because he's not the only one that I've encountered in client work that feels this way. And I wanted to get out this message. And if this resonates for you, great. If it doesn't, just toss it. But how energy works is this. Yes, indeed, if you chose to end your own life or leave this plane of existence in this meat body form because you wanted to be with all of your dead loved ones, you would most likely be greeted in some shape or form of those loved ones. But be very clear that it all comes down to energy and frequency after that. When we are in what we would call in between lives, we don't necessarily hang out with our loved ones because frequency is the issue. There's a vibrational tone to us at this point. We don't have meat and bone. We are frequency, vibrational tone. And that frequency, like will find like, and we will sort of hang out, if we want to use that terminology, with those that have like-minded frequency, or we will be hanging out with those that are assisting my frequency to come to a higher plane of ascension. So just because we think that they were our family members in meat and bone down here in 3D, and that we wanted to hang out down here and be a family and be together all of the time, when we cross over, especially if I'm doing it in the energy of a suicide and or a heaviness and fear, abandonment, anger, all of those things that come attached to the suicide, that frequency will cross over at a much lower rate than those that have already been crossed over for quite some time that are at a higher rate. And this difference in between is not going to be a common playing ground. I am not going to automatically be hanging out with my mom or my kid or my uncle or whatever because the frequencies don't match. So be clear that they may indeed greet me. They may be there at the time when I so-called go to the light to acknowledge, but I won't be in that same frequency until I do my work in terms of raising that frequency. So what does do my work mean? It means the stuff that you were running away from in the first place, meaning the fear, the sadness, the feeling of abandonment, the being all alone, all of those issues that you were running away from in 3D will go with you and still need to be healed in terms of energy and frequency so that you enlighten yourself in terms of the knowledge and the frequency to find your loved ones on the other side of the veil. So I oftentimes warn people, please do not think that that's the magic and with all when you do that kind of an action, because that's not how it works on the other side. We're either going to be doing our work here or we're going to be doing our work here. And in my opinion, to be able to do the work in this meat and bone body and be here on the earth form and find things that joyfully fill my existence and remember that I'm still here in a co-contract that says I'm still supposed to be here, honoring all of those elements of still being embodied, in my opinion, will help you then cross over when it is indeed your actual time to cross over, to then be at that level where those loved ones are. Then it will be an ongoing reunion. Then it will be that we will be in the same place and frequency and light and love. So it's something to really think about and to ponder, because we've got some work to do here on the earth plane before we cross over, if you think about it that way. Until next, cosmic hugs.